15 Things You Didn't Know About Saint Laurent. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome to another exciting original video presented by Alux.com. Today we're revealing some interesting and surprising facts about the French luxury fashion house Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent founded the company named after him in 1961 along with his partner, Pierre Berger. From its inception, Saint Laurent has made a major impact on the fashion industry with innovative pieces like tuxedo jackets for women. In 1993, YSL was sold to pharmaceutical company Sanofi for $600 million, but Saint Laurent retained creative control. In 1999, YSL was acquired by Gucci and Tom Ford became the creative director. He designed the ready-to-wear collection while Saint Laurent designed the haute couture collection. In 2000, Yves Saint Laurent retired and Stefano Pilati joined the company to run the ready-to-wear line. He was later promoted to creative director when Tom Ford left the company. In 2012, Hedi Salman took over as creative director and made the controversial decision to drop the first part of the name to rebrand the company as Saint Laurent. Throughout its history, Saint Laurent has been a favorite of many top celebrities, and current fans of the brand include Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Kanye West, Cameron Diaz, Margot Robbie, Emma Watson, and Rihanna. If you're new here, welcome! Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. The brand has clearly made its mark on the fashion world and continues to evolve along with the industry. So, let's take a closer look with these 15 things you didn't know about Saint Laurent. Number 1. Saint Laurent started his label after he was fired from Dior. Yves Saint Laurent was hired by Dior when he was a teenager, and when Christian Dior died suddenly a couple of years later, he was named the head designer of the House of Dior when he was only 21. He was conscripted to serve in the French army 3 years later during the Algerian War of Independence, but he only served 20 days before he was admitted to a military hospital due to the psychological effects of constant hazing by fellow soldiers. It was at the hospital that he learned he had been fired by Dior. After he was released from the hospital in 1960, he successfully sued Dior for breach of contract, and then with the £48,000 of settlement money, he started his own fashion house along with his romantic partner, Pierre Berger. Number 2. Saint Laurent is widely regarded as the inventor of the women's pantsuit. Coco Chanel designed loose trousers for women in the early 20th century, and during World War II, pants were worn by many women out of necessity while they were doing manual labor in the men's absence. But Saint Laurent was the first to bring pantsuits to the world of high-fashion evening wear. His 1966 line offered trousers and a new take on the classic tuxedo called the Le Smoking Jacket. Although many fashion critics were not impressed, the look was embraced by a few high-profile women, including Liza Minnelli, Lauren Bacall, and Bianca Jagger. It became such an iconic part of the company that it was recreated in different forms in every collection from then until present day. Number 3. Bianca Jagger wore a YSL Le Smoking Jacket to her wedding. When Nicaraguan-born Bianca Perez Mora Macias married Mick Jagger in 1971, her outfit of choice ensured that all eyes were on the bride. She wore a perfectly tailored YSL Le Smoking Jacket with nothing underneath, along with a long white skirt and a large veiled sun hat. Mick Jagger wore a green suit and sneakers. The couple divorced 8 years later. Number 4. One of the Niki boots options is encrusted with 3,000 Swarovski crystals. The Niki boots are a major component of Saint Laurent's fall line, but there is one pair in particular that really stands out. The Niki Swarovski crystal-embellished leather knee boots are handcrafted with black leather that is encrusted with 3,000 Swarovski crystals that cover every inch of the boot. They can be yours for a little over $9,000. Number 5. Many fine dining restaurants initially would not seat women who were wearing a YSL trouser suit. When Yves Saint Laurent introduced the women's trouser suit in 1966, not everyone embraced the fashion-forward idea. Many fine dining restaurants would turn away women who showed up in the YSL trouser suits, refusing to serve them because they deemed their attire inappropriate. Nan Kempner, a famous New York socialite, was turned away from the Côte Basque restaurant in New York while wearing her YSL tuxedo suit. She defiantly took the pants off, wore the jacket as a thigh-skimming mini dress, and was then permitted inside. Number 6. A photograph of Yves Saint Laurent sold for over $48,000 back in 2010. In 1971, Yves Saint Laurent was the first designer to appear in an advertisement for his own perfume, and he did so in the nude. The advertisement obviously attracted a lot of attention to the brand, although many publications refused to print it. In 2010, one of the original pictures for the advertisement, taken by French fashion photographer Jean-Luc Saiff, was auctioned off along with many other photographs from his collection. The Saint Laurent photograph brought in the highest amount of the night with a winning bid of $48,186. Number 7. Yves Saint Laurent sued Ralph Lauren. In 1994, Yves Saint Laurent successfully sued Ralph Lauren for counterfeiting and disloyal competition. Ralph Lauren was accused of copying Saint Laurent's black tuxedo dress, which he first created in 1966 and reintroduced in 1991. Ralph Lauren sold a total of 123 of his version of the tuxedo dress for $1,000 apiece, but the remaining dresses were seized and impounded when Saint Laurent brought the suit. The court ruled against Ralph Lauren and demanded that he pay $395,000 to Saint Laurent and publish an apology. Number 8. Saint Laurent was the first couturier to launch a ready-to-wear line. In 1966, Saint Laurent made a major mark on the high fashion scene when he launched a ready-to-wear line with a boutique in Paris called the Saint Laurent Rive Gauche. This was the first time a couturier successfully launched a ready-to-wear line in France. People waited in line up to 3 hours to purchase items in the first several weeks of its opening. The ready-to-wear fashion allowed Saint Laurent to make his designs more accessible to the mainstream customer, and this allowed him to increase his profits and his brand's popularity. Number 9. Tom Ford would like to completely forget about his time at Saint Laurent. Tom Ford, who would later go on to create his own fashion label, became the creative director of Gucci in 1994. When Gucci acquired Yves Saint Laurent in 1999, Tom Ford was named creative director of that label as well, and worked in both roles simultaneously. Tom says he prefers not to think of his time as head of Saint Laurent because it was such a negative experience for him, largely because Yves Saint Laurent and his partner Pierre Berger were openly very critical of him. Tom Ford said the two were pure evil and caused him such misery that phase of his life simply doesn't exist in his mind anymore. Number 10. As a teenager, Yves Saint Laurent beat Karl Lagerfeld in a design contest. At the age of 17, Yves Saint Laurent entered the International Wool Secretariat competition and won first place. The following year, he won the same competition again for his design of a cocktail dress, beating a young German student named Karl Lagerfeld, who would go on to become the creative director of Chanel and Fendi. If you want to learn more about the famous designer, click in the upper right-hand corner to watch our video of 15 things you didn't know about Karl Lagerfeld. Number 11. Saint Laurent is owned by one of the two competing fashion families in France. There are two families in France that now own the majority of French fashion houses, among other fashion labels, the Arnault and the Pinault. The Arnault have a net worth of $51.6 million and own a majority stake in over 70 brands, including Marc Jacobs, Fendi, DKNY, and most recently Christian Dior, which was acquired in 2017. The Pinault have a net worth of $19.5 billion, and they own Christie's auction house, in addition to the fashion labels Gucci, Brioni, Puma, Saint Laurent, and others. Number 12. Justin Bieber was wearing Saint Laurent when he won his first Grammy Award. In 2016, Justin Bieber won his first Grammy Award for Best Dance Recording for his song Where Are You Now, while wearing a white jacket Saint Laurent tuxedo. His plus one was his 6-year-old little brother Jackson, who was also wearing a Saint Laurent tux. He also wore a leopard jacket by Saint Laurent while performing at the award show. But Justin sporting Saint Laurent is nothing new. He has often been seen in the brand's clothing both on stage and in his personal life. Number 13. Christian Louboutin sued Yves Saint Laurent. In 2012, a lengthy court case was settled between Yves Saint Laurent and footwear label Christian Louboutin. Louboutin sued the French fashion house over allegations that the label had copied its signature red soles. The original judgment claimed that Louboutin's trademark red soles were not entitled to protection, but a court of appeals changed that decision, declaring that Louboutin had exclusive rights to red-soled shoes in the United States, except when the shoe itself is red. This meant that YSL and other brands could make and sell red shoes with red soles, but otherwise would not be allowed to use the red soles Louboutin had trademarked. Number 14. Yves Saint Laurent and Pierre Berger's belongings were auctioned off for $484 million. A 2009 auction of personal items that belonged to Saint Laurent's founders, Yves Saint Laurent and Pierre Berger, broke 7 world records in auction sales, including most paid for a Matisse, Brancusi, Mondrian, and De Chirico. An Eileen Gray dragon chair armchair bought in the highest figure ever paid for a piece of 20th century furniture, with a winning bid of $28 million. A total of 730 antiques, paintings, sculptures, pieces of art, and furniture were auctioned off for a total of $484 million. Number 15. Salma Hayek is the wife of François-Henri Pinault, who is the part owner and CEO of the luxury conglomerate Kering, which owns the brand Saint Laurent. She is often seen wearing Saint Laurent designs and takes a front row seat at Saint Laurent fashion shows. Now that you've learned more about Saint Laurent, do you think the brand will be able to maintain its success in the new era of the company? Let us know what you think in the comments. Still here? Here's a bonus fact to thank you for sticking around. Saint Laurent was known for throwing extravagant parties, and one in particular was the $1 million party thrown on a yacht in New York City in 1978 to celebrate the YSL fragrance Opium. More than 800 people attended, including Cher and Truman Capote. Guests were greeted by a 1,000-pound Buddha and 2,000 white orchids flown in from Hawaii. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an A-Luxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.